welcome to the Cave of Wonders. I am Lord Callous of the Dreamwalkers. Today in the Rancor Report, let's talk about Rian Johnson. He's back in the news, making moves, causing waves. This is the Rancor Report. I am Lord Callous. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button as we get into this news about Rian Johnson. So, first up, let's talk about his new movie, Knives Out. I covered this story earlier in the week, but this is more of an update. It appears as though Johnson has found a backer. This story comes to us from comingsoon.net. This article was written by Jeff Ames. Rian Johnson's Knives Out lands a backer and will shoot in November. Rian Johnson's Knives Out just got scooped up by Media Rights Capital at the 2018 Toronto Film Festival, per Deadline. Now fully financed, the film, which will mark Johnson's directorial follow-up to Star Wars The Last Jedi, will begin shooting in November with star Daniel Craig. According to the report, multiple parties were interested in Knives Out, but MRC, the company behind such hits as Baby Driver and the upcoming Peter Jackson-produced Mortal Engines, stuck to its claim with a $40 million commitment and strong back-in for Craig and the filmmakers. The company will next approach distributors. So what does this mean for Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy? As we know, he says that it's still on, so we can't do anything but believe that that's the case. And he claims that he will be shooting this film prior to him shooting that trilogy. So I guess the trilogy is on hold, if anything. So in other news, Rian Johnson reveals which Clone Wars episode influenced The Last Jedi. This is actually quite interesting. And this story comes to us from Cinema Blend, and this story was written by Dirk Libby. Star Wars The Last Jedi director reveals which Clone Wars episodes influenced his movie. Star Wars The Last Jedi was both praised and criticized for the way it took Star Wars in new directions, but that doesn't mean it wasn't strongly influenced by other parts of the franchise. Recently, a fan asked Johnson his thoughts on the Mortis storyline from the Star Wars The Clone Wars animated series. And Johnson revealed that he had specifically watched the episodes early in his process of writing his script for The Last Jedi. Johnson said, and I quote, "I rewatched these episodes on Dave Filoni's advice early in the writing process. They are so gorgeous and boundary pushing. The storyline in question from Star Wars The Clone Wars has Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka Tano transported to a mysterious world called Mortis that is inhabited by only three people: the son, the father, and the daughter." Those that are Star Wars fans, you know that story. The father who kept the balance between them. The father has brought Anakin to the land in hopes he will replace the father as the keeper of balance once he dies. Eventually, all three of them actually die, which in its own way still keeps the balance in the Force. While Rian Johnson doesn't talk specifically about how these episodes influenced him, it's not hard to see how Johnson does call the episodes gorgeous and boundary pushing. And those are certainly both things that would have to be said about Star Wars The Last Jedi. This is the author of this article. This is his opinion. While arguments still abound about the movie overall, nobody is claiming the film isn't beautiful or that Rian Johnson didn't push the limits of what Star Wars had been up to that point. Okay. the entire idea of Mortis, a sort of living manifestation of the Force, was something that had never been hinted at in the franchise before. Its entire existence potentially changes quite a lot about how you view the Force and Star Wars as a whole. So, outside of the quote, I guess, gorgeous and boundary pushing, that would be the only connection that I could see between that Mortis storyline and The Last Jedi. I don't see any other influence. That could be me being ignorant, but I just don't see any other influence between those two storylines. So, in other Johnson news, it seems as though Zero has clapped back. Yes, Mike Zero has finally answered Rian Johnson's Twitter insults. But instead of taking shots at Johnson directly, Zero he takes subtle shots by re-reviewing Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi. So who knows what sort of impact this will have. I mean, Zero does have 100,000, more than 100,000 subs, right? So can it have some sort of an impact? Who knows? But it's good to see that I didn't cover this story originally because to me it's just two grown men, going back and forth. It is what it is. I don't think that's, I don't think that Johnson attacked Zero. I think he made a joke. It just was what it was. You gotta put your big draws on if you want to step into this game of entertainment. So I think that Zero did the right thing by, taking aim and shots fired back, otherwise fall back. But anyway, so funny though that Johnson would, after this exchange between he and Zero, he apologized, saying that his behavior was reckless and that he shouldn't have said what he said. Okay, whatever. So now it seems like it's dead. But then, if anybody knows Island Def Jam recording artist, I think he's a producer, but Ferrari. So Ferrari says on Twitter, responding to Johnson's tweet from a long time ago. I think Johnson's original tweet was maybe in June or July, or maybe it was recent. I just think that it was a long time ago. But Johnson tweeted about how blocking assholes, it feels good. And Ferrari responded to that tweet by saying, I wish I could have blocked my asshole from that garbage movie that you put out. And Johnson claps back with a video that's slowly putting up the middle finger, calling Ferrari an asshole. And I just want to say to Rian Johnson, listen, don't let your Twitter thumbs write a check that your ass can't cash, man. Because have you seen Ferrari? I mean, he will bench press your ass, bro. You need to relax and realize that not everybody is the same. He's not Mike Zero. So anyway, I digress. But that is my Rian Johnson news for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, hit that subscribe button and the likes. Tell me how you feel in the comments. This has been the Rancor Report. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please let me know in the comments. And while you're there, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. And as always, thank you for taking your time to spend with the Dreamwalker.